The hood came off with a rough yank, scraping Alexei's cheek as it lifted. Cold air hit his face like a slap. He blinked hard, vision adjusting to the dimness. A single light bulb dangled from a frayed wire above him, swaying gently as if disturbed by the ghosts of the room. Its harsh glow carved long, jagged shadows across the concrete walls, making the chamber feel more like a tomb than a courtroom. A metal table stretched before him, dented, scarred, stained by history. Behind it sat 3 senior officers of Russian intelligence, their uniforms immaculate, their expressions carved from granite. They didn't look like men, they looked like verdicts. Irina stood beside them, arms folded, posture rigid. Her eyes were colder than the room. The man in the center leaned forward, his voice echoing off the concrete. "Alexei Morozov," he began, each syllable deliberate. "You are charged with treason against the Russian Federation." Alexei's wrists were shackled to the chair, metal biting into his skin. He didn't pull away, he didn't even flinch. "You provided intelligence to MI5, the officer continued. "You compromised operations. You endangered agents. You abandoned your mission." Alexei lifted his chin, jaw tight. "I protected my family." The officer slammed his fist onto the table, the sound cracking through the chamber like a gunshot. "You were not given permission to have a family." Irina stepped forward, her heels clicking sharply against the floor. "You were created for one purpose," she said, voice slicing through the air, "and you failed." Alexei's reply was soft, but it carried more weight than any accusation in the room. "I am not your creation anymore." Silence fell, thick, suffocating, electric. Even the light bulb seemed to stop swinging. The officer leaned back slowly, exhaling through his nose. He studied Alexei as though examining a broken tool. "Do you have anything else to say before sentencing?" Alexei closed his eyes. For a moment, he wasn't in the chamber. He was in a small apartment kitchen, holding Sophie as she giggled, her tiny hands grabbing at his shirt. He felt her warmth, her heartbeat, her trust. His voice cracked as he spoke. "Is my daughter alive?" Irina's mask slipped, just for a heartbeat. A flicker of hesitation, a fracture in the ice. "She is alive," she said finally, "for now." The words hit him like a blow. Relief surged through him, followed instantly by terror. Alive, but in their hands. He opened his eyes and something inside him hardened. The officer straightened, lifting a sheet of paper as though it were a sacred decree. "Alexei Morozov," he announced, "you are hereby sentenced to death by firing squad." The words echoed, bouncing off the walls, settling into Alexei's bones. 2 guards stepped forward, their boots thudding heavily. They grabbed him by the arms, dragging the chair backward before unlocking the chains. His legs were weak, but he forced himself to stand tall. Irina watched him with an unreadable expression. Not triumph, not anger. Something else. Something she didn't want anyone to see. As the guards pulled him toward the steel door, Alexei felt a strange sensation rising in his chest. Not fear, not despair. Freedom. For the first time in his life, he wasn't pretending. He wasn't following orders. He wasn't living someone else's script. He had nothing left to hide. Nothing left to lose, except Sophie. And for her, he would face death without blinking. Because if she was alive, then so was hope.